late in the third period. I almost said Colin Jost. Tyson Jost puts a hit on Patrick Kane. He gets a penalty. Max Domi doesn't like the hit, comes in, beats up on Jost, gets the 2, the 5 in the game. So Max Domi is not available for the remainder of the game, which included overtime, which included the shootout, and
wiped out a power play you were going to get with 2.5 minutes to go in a tie game.
Correct.
I am 100% on board for protecting guys taking liberties with Patrick Kane, but maybe that's not the time to do it. Maybe you keep that receipt in your pocket. You're playing these guys 3 more times that year. Maybe you realize, hey, or maybe somebody that's not Max Domi does it instead. You know, because the Wild will get Max Domi kicked out of the game every time for a few bruises on Tyson Jost's head. That was a trade they'll make every time.
Yeah.
Their leading goal scorer heading into the game is gone in a tie game. Your leading power play producer gone and took out a power play. You have to defend Patrick Kane. I understand that. And he went to the penalty box and gave him a fist bump, and that's something you probably wouldn't see on last year's team.
Oh, no shot. No shot in hell.
But again, you have to be aware of the time.
Yeah.
If that happens in the first period, by all means, beat the living crap out of Jost. But you're trying to win hockey games still.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just not the best time to do it. Overall, I'm not mad
No,
that he
I
did
know.
it, but it would have been cooler if it didn't. It would have been cooler if they were on a power play in a tie game with 2 minutes, or Max Domi was available in 3-on-3 overtime.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. It is I'm so on the fence about this because you're right. Last year, you never would have seen that. I don't think I've ever seen Patrick Kane go to the penalty box and thank a teammate for standing up for him ever. And when we were in Denver, we had some time to kill, and a documentary I'd never seen before called Ice Guardians was on. And it was about enforcers and about fighting and all these things. And I'd always been on the side of, or at least in recent years, been on the side of like, fights are dumb. They accomplish nothing. All they do is cause concussions. They don't really protect anybody, yada, yada, yada. This documentary kind of changed my mind a little bit because you've got goons, you've got star players, you've got guys saying, I know that I'm not going to run Patrick Kane because Domi or Tenorti or whoever is there. Back in the day, it was Probert, it was McSorley, it was Donald Brashear, it was, on and on and on. You go through all the great enforcers of all time. Those guys don't really exist anymore. But knowing that there's a consequence, an immediate consequence, I think can prevent those things from happening down the road. And I don't think it's any coincidence that since the instigator has been added as a rule, you're seeing more and more hits like what happened to Jujhar Khaira and guys like Jacob Trouba and Rafi Torres, and are just running wild, putting dangerous hits on star players as opposed to someone like Proby out there to make sure it doesn't happen in the first place. Yeah. And I'm really conflicted here. And I think I'm actually, and after hearing what Troy Murray said about it, who is one of the smartest hockey guys around, who has been through wars, he's won Stanley Cups, he's won Selke trophies, for him to say, I love what Max Domi did there, I think I'm going to kind of agree, because it's 1 point. At the end of the day, maybe it doesn't make a difference, but guess what? Maybe the team they're playing. Who are they playing? They're playing the Islanders on Tuesday. Maybe the Islanders are scouting this game and they see Patrick Kane take a hit like that, and now one of the Islanders is not going to make a hit like that on Patrick Kane. And instead of losing 1 point for standing up right away, maybe Patrick Kane doesn't break his collarbone and miss a month. Right? Of course, it's not quantifiable. You can't quantify it prevented something from happening. There's no way to measure that. But I do think there's some truth to that. Yes, of course, it would be better to have Domi in overtime and in a shootout and all those things, especially since he's kicking so much ass in the faceoff dot. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not so worried about points in the standings that I was kind of happy to see Domi do that. And I'm kind of surprised I'm surprised at myself that that's my take.
Yeah, as I said, I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying maybe not the best time, but overall,
Yeah.
you have to protect your stars. You have to protect your line mates. So, if it prevents other teams from taking runs at Patrick Kane, then it's worth giving up the point in overtime. Absolutely.